What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video, this time for vintage Kenner items that have sold recently. I have a couple of channel updates. First, you're going to see a nice, pretty little graphic for a new YouTube channel that is called 5 Idiots Talking Toys, and that's what I feel like I am as well. I'm an idiot. And this is started by Chris W., who's been in a number of live streams. He also runs Orange Droid Vintage Toys. And he and a few buddies of his started a YouTube channel called 5 Idiots Talking Toys. And they had me on as a guest recently. It's sort of a podcast slash live stream type thing. And I was on for about 20 minutes or so talking about graded toys and the advantages and disadvantages of that. So I will put a link in the description to this video to the video where I am featured. But make sure to check it out and make sure to subscribe. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to talk to those guys. I hadn't met a couple of them before. Chris and his brother Charles were on there, and a few other guys that I hadn't had a chance or the pleasure to meet yet. So a lot of fun. We talked all kinds of stuff. It was a nice balance of information and then idiocy. Okay, so like we had the banter going, but we also had good, useful information. So I think you'll find that episode a lot of fun, and be sure to check them out and subscribe. So that's one. Number two, as I mentioned in a previous video, I've got another giveaway. And here we are. This is a Power of the Force coin from the 1985 era for the Imperial Dignitary. So this was a wonderful gift to the channel from Robert W., a good buddy of mine. He sent this off to me a while back, and I just haven't had a chance to give it away yet. So that is the next giveaway. In order to be entered to this giveaway, all you have to do is like this video, be a subscriber, and then comment below. That automatically enters you in to win. Anyone in the world is eligible. I'll ship it anywhere in the world. But you are entered to win this coin. It comes in a nice case. It also has a little easel that you can display it on, like so. Ta-da! So it's a perfect little shelf piece for those of you that collect these Power of the Force coins. So this is the Imperial Dignitary. So that's number two. Number three is that I have to make an announcement that I know that I've been pumping out the videos left and right lately, but I'm gonna have to take a break, unfortunately. I've got a sick family member, and I've got to go and act as the caregiver in that case. So I'm gonna be gone for a little bit. I don't know how long yet. It could be a week. It could be 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm going to try and pump out a few preliminary videos to cover while I'm away, but it's not going to be the usual volume of videos from me for the next week or two. And most of you are probably breathing a sigh of relief because you don't have to put up with me. But yeah, unfortunately, I've got a sick family member. I'm going to have to go take care of that situation, and just keep me in your prayers. It's not good. So now that all the serious stuff's out of the way, let's go ahead and dig right into some really nice recent sales. A lot of these I hadn't even noticed. You know, I keep a watch list, and you know, sometimes I miss stuff. And so what I usually do now is I go back through and I look at closed auctions worldwide, and I find a lot of cool stuff that I didn't even notice. And some of them I wish I had seen because I probably would have bought it. And I'll show you that one a little bit later on. But here is a ungraded Darth Vader Star Destroyer playset, and this is a really, really expensive item. Just does not come up much. Now this one is unsealed, but according to the seller, this one is AFA ready, meaning that it's 100% complete, and it would receive qualified grading. So you oftentimes see with AFA a little Q on there, or CAS, or UKG. They'll put a Q on the grading label, and what that means is that it's qualified. That means it's an unused, complete, 100% complete, with all the, you know, inserts and catalogs and parts unused. If it matches that criteria, then it will meet the qualified grading standards. And so that's what he mentioned for this. Now, I have no way to verify that based on the photos. The photos are really just of the box, but according to the seller, it's 100% complete. And it did sell. It sold. It was listed for $1,400 US plus another $20 shipping, and it sold pretty quick. So, and I know this seller. This is a very trusted seller. This seller's name is kind of wacky on eBay, but I can tell you that seller has a lot of really good stuff. I've bought from that seller before, and I've always been very happy with that seller. So if that seller says that this is qualified AFA ready, I believe that seller because I've dealt with that seller before. But anyway, that one sold for $1,400. It's not an item you see come up very much, and it sold. So really cool to see one of these Empire Strikes Back Vader's Star Destroyer. Just a beautiful, beautiful condition, 75 or maybe an 80 grade. So really nice. Next was a graded action figure vinyl case. And this one was the more rare, this is me being guessing, but from my knowledge, this Empire Strikes Back action figure vinyl case is the more rare example. This one has Yoda in the upper left. There's another one that has him in a different position, and it's a very stylized box, but look how awesome that art is on that. Still factory sealed, and this one was graded 80 plus. It's, you can see there it's labeled as Wampa top right, but this is the more rare of the two ESB carry cases, and it sold for a big number. It sold for roughly about double what the other Empire Strikes Back carrying case sells for in a high grade. So this one sold for $1,650. So big number there, but look at that art. It's just awesome. I love that Wampa. You can see Han over Luke out on the tundra of Hoth. Just completely epic. I love this item. It's really nice, but a big number for those of you that collect those in high grade. Another one, this seller has listed a bunch of these 12-inch figures, and this one was listed for $900. It had one bid. It's sold for $900 plus $46 shipping. I think it was at auction before, and I guess the winning bidder in that other auction did not pay, so he relisted it at roughly the same price, and it sold immediately. So Obi-Wan, it was an AFA 80. Just a beautiful example. This seller has got absolutely amazing 12-inch figures all graded. He's got the die-cast series all graded. I actually wanted to bid on one of them, but I didn't. I was being good. But this was, you know, you don't find many of them in this kind of condition. This one was box of 80. The window was 75, figure 80. So really nice. And that one sold for about $950. This is one that I did bid on. And I did not even come close, unfortunately. But yeah, this one was a 45 back power droid. As you guys know, I've got a very minor, very minor 45 back run going. I've got the 21B droid, medical droid, and I've got the Death Star droid already graded. And this one popped up, and it's a trusted seller that I've dealt with in the past. And this one was a power droid, really amazing condition, probably like an 80 or an 80 plus would be my guess. And my bid was nowhere close. It ended up selling for $700 plus shipping. And, you know, as you guys remember from a previous Vintage Kenner update, he had the R5D4. That one I also bid on. That one sold for $790. I was nowhere close on that one either. So my gut says that my chances of getting another one of these in the short term are pretty slim, just given where prices are going. I'm just not paying that kind of money. But here's another one that same seller with the 12-inch Obi-Wan had, and this is one I really was thinking hard about. This one is an ESB 11 back twin pod cloud car diecast, and it was in pretty amazing condition. The card was an 80, blister 85, vehicle 85. It was clear blister too, which for whatever reason that die-cast cloud car usually yellows in the blister. So really awesome item. That one sold for big money, $685 plus $40 shipping. So another data point for those of you that like those. Here's the back of the card, really beautiful. I feel like this seller and that other seller have come out with these items that are very rarely at auction, and it's pretty cool to watch them just fly off the shelf. And this one had 12 bids. It sold 3 days ago, so I was very tempted. I was very tempted, but I was very good. This is one that Blacked Out Ewoks covered in a recent market update. I wanted to point this one out though because I almost bought it, and now I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't. This one sold for a really cheap price, $112. For me, the problem is shipping. As I've talked about in the past, it was $54 shipping, so it just was cost prohibitive. But this is the Spanish PvP Paleface Purple Armor Dengar, one of the more desirable variants within the PvP line, just because of its very vivid differences versus either the Hong Kong or the No COO. I have the No COO AFA graded, and it's got a very pink face. But this one's got a very pale face with that very purplish armor. It's got that new updated case, and it sold for a great price, 112, 113 bucks plus shipping. So somebody probably over in the UK got that one for a great price. I wish it had been me, but just was not meant to be. But that is that's a pretty good price for an 85 grade UKG Spanish Dengar. All right, now I've got a couple of loose graded Death Star droids, and we're going to play that little game that we always play, where I show you an 85 and then I show you an 85 plus, and you guys try to guess what the price difference is going to be. And as I've talked about, we all know that once you bump from 85 up to 85 plus or 85 or 90, AFA 90, the price jumps a lot. Now, I haven't used that tool to figure out what the actual sales price is, but it was listed. This was an AFA 85 Death Star droid. Really nice condition, got the new case and everything. It was listed at $275 with $15 shipping. I'm gonna guess that it probably sold around $250. So next is the AFA 85 Plus, and I'll let you take a guess for a second as to what you think it would sell for. Let's assume this one sold at $250. I'm going to show you now what the AFA 85 Plus is, and here's this one. This one sold again by Collectible Investment Brokerage, Ron W. over there, really trusted seller. This one sold for $353 in an auction that ended on Sunday. So $353 for an 85 plus. Here's the label on that one. His arm's in the way there, but it's an 85 plus. I actually, honestly, I think that price was actually pretty good. I know it seems like a high number for a loose graded figure, but as Chris W. and I have talked about, $353 for an 85 plus Death Star droid, that's probably about the minimum you're going to end up paying, to be honest with you. That figure degrades really easily, even inside the blister. The black, especially on the eyes and the shoulders, comes off and peels off really easily, even inside the blister. So to get an AFA 85 plus loose graded, that's probably about the minimum you're going to pay. I think that was a fair price, to be honest with you. They also had an 85 plus Imperial Commander. I thought this price was also very fair. This one is a beautiful figure, updated case. Here's the label on it. This is the flesh face with the straight brown eyes. There's a number of different kind of slight variations with the Hong Kong Imperial Commander. That one sold for $166 plus shipping. For an 85 plus, that's probably pretty fair, to be honest with you. And then the other one, he had some others, but this is the other one I wanted to point out. This is just an AFA 85, but it was the Silver Hollow Eyes Hong Kong. I have this exact same figure, exact same mold, exact same COO and grade, and I paid the exact same price. I paid $150, and this one sold for $142 plus $8 shipping. So it's almost the exact same price I paid. So whoever got that one got a pretty good deal, in my opinion, given that I bought mine probably 3 or 4 or 5 months ago, and this one was, 4 days ago. So good win for whoever bought that. All right, now this is a little off tangent, but I've had so many requests from subscribers saying, well, once it's graded, can they fall off the blister? Can the figure fall off the blister? Well, here is Exhibit Q. I've seen a bunch of them, dozens of them, and this is one that was graded. It was graded 80 plus, 77 back A, Bib Fortuna. It was 80 plus, but it had a yellow blister. And remember what I've talked about. If you got a yellow blister, especially with these Return of the Jedi and Power of the Force figures, those blisters are super brittle. It's not the same consistency once it turns yellow. That degradation process makes that blister super brittle. And here's a case of that where it was graded and then it broke in shipping or whatever. You can see where right here, the whole blister just cracked. And so the figure and the staff fell out of the case, and so it sold for $60 with free shipping. So you took what was probably a $250 item minimum, and it's now worth $60. So this is what terrifies me about yellow blisters, especially with high price ones. I don't mind it so much if it's going to be a fairly inexpensive figure, but I'll take that risk. But I just there's a reason why I'm not spending $1,000 on a Power of the Force Darth Vader with a yellow blister. I would love to have it. I think with some proper fiscal responsibility, I could probably come up with that money over time. But I'm just not willing to risk it because of what you see here. It's just, I'm not saying this is common. This is not common where it falls out of the blister like this. But I've seen it enough to know that I'm not dropping $1,000 on an item that could fall off the blister at any time or crack through the blister. I'm just, it's just, for me, that's just not something I'm going to do. Here's one that I wish I had seen. I didn't see this one. But this was a 77 back AFA 85 clear blister Yoda. And the pictures weren't great, very blurry, but this one was a buy it now situation, but look at these sub scores. It was a 90 for the card, blister was 85, figure 85, overall 85 for a 77 A-back Yoda. And wow, what an awesome item. It was listed for 800 bucks, which I can tell you that that is way cheap. That is way cheap. You know, I've seen these sell as high as 1,200 bucks or higher, potentially. But, you know, I think for a clear blister Yoda, you know, later card back, 800 bucks was a really good price, whoever got that one. I wish it had been me. Knowing me, I probably would have oohed and awed over it, and I probably still wouldn't have bought it even if I had the opportunity, because I hate spending that much money. But that's something I would have seriously considered at that price. That was a really good price, and it would have gone really well with my other 3 that I have on card for Yoda. But that was a really good deal, whoever got that one. Here was another one that I thought was a great deal too. This was a 65 back AFA 80 Obi-Wan, and it was a clear blister also. Here's the label on it. Again, these photos are terrible, but it's got the gray hair. Card was an 80, blister 85, figure 85. And wow, that was a really good deal. It was $550, best offer accepted. I'm assuming you got it for about 500 bucks. That's about market. I mean, you know, that's a pretty good price for an unpunched clear blister Ben Obi-Wan on that Return of the Jedi card. You just don't find those too much with a clear blister, but man, it looked nice. So that seller had a couple of really good examples that were very reasonably priced. Here is a Revenge of the Jedi proof card. This one sat and sat and sat, I think, over a year on the market, if not more. It might have been 2 years. But finally, the market prices dictated such that it finally sold. But, you know, I know this seller, he's a great guy. I'm not trying to disparage him at all, but he had it listed for, I would say, at least a year and a half or so. And this is a Revenge of the Jedi proof card. So pre-production piece with the Death Star droid. It was listed for $2,500 and it sold. And just an awesome item. Awesome item. You can see there the bottom portions of the card are kind of squared off instead of rounded like you see at the top. So really cool pre-production piece, but it definitely sat for a while before finally the market conditions escalated such that someone was willing to pay that number. But what an awesome item. So I was drooling over that one. Next, here's one that I have no idea what the final sales price was, but it was listed at $3,000. This was an AFA 80 sealed collector series Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. Now, this is not the earlier 1970s version. This is the later version that came out around the Return of the Jedi. And let's see if we can find the label. Here it is. 1983 collector series Vader's TIE Fighter. It was graded 80, near mint, so a very high grade. But I literally, in one of my videos, I just had one of these that was sold at auction, and it sold for about half that, or less than half that. It was about 40% of this list price. So I don't know what the sales price was because I didn't look up the best offer accepted. But if it was anywhere near that, they paid way too much. You know, again, maybe they offered $1,500, and the seller said, "Okay, well that's really actually what the price is." But $3,000 is way too high for that. Just given, I mean, I would say it's less than 2 months ago. One sold for, again, I'm going on memory here, but it was between $1,200 and $1,400 for the exact same grade, exact same item. So anyway, interesting data point. Here's another Obi-Wan, same seller that had the other Obi-Wan, and this was a yellowed Power of the Force, and it's unpunched, really nice example. The yellowing doesn't look terrible, but it's hard to tell based on these photos, but a pretty nice example. That one was archival case, near mint, 80. It looked like a 90 for the blister score and then an 85 for the figure score. Now, as you can see on the label, it's labeled as near mint. It doesn't have the yellow designation. So that means that the yellowing that you see here, it's pretty pronounced. I mean, if you look at the Star Wars logo on that card bag, you can see the yellowing at the bottom of the star lettering there. So it's yellowed since grading. And so that's just something else to keep in mind, is if you're going to pay up for a Power of the Jedi, Power of the Force, or a later Return of the Jedi card back that's still clear, and a lot of people do. I mean, we've seen that a lot in these videos where people are paying up massive premiums for those clear blisters. Well, this one still had the archival case. You can see right there where it says archival. That's supposed to give it 99.9% UV protection. Despite all that, it's still yellowed. So, you know, again, this is because of the chemicals that were used inside these later blisters. It's got a fire retardant that causes these things to yellow over time. So just all I'm trying to say is keep that in mind for those of you who are spending big money on these, is that even if you get a clear blister, there's a chance it's going to turn yellow over time. And I've certainly got a few clear blister Return of the Jedi mint on cards in my collection, and I haven't looked at them that closely, but I would assume that they're all going to do this eventually. So just keep that in mind. But the price, I think, reflected the fact that it had already yellowed. It was listed at $750 with best offer accepted, and I think a true clear blister Power of the Force Obi-Wan would have sold for well above that. It probably would have been above $1,000. So the buyer didn't overpay for it, in my opinion, but I'm just trying to say that this label is no longer valid because it is yellowed since grading. So the last one on the list, I was shocked by this price. This price was crazy. I know the A-Wing on the droids card back is pretty rare, and I know that this was a high grade. This was an AFA 80 yellowed droids A-Wing, so a very, very rare, very expensive figure. It was unpunched, great condition. I'm not trying to disparage the condition, but it's over $1,600. That's a big number, and as you can see, that blister is pretty darn yellow. Pretty darn yellow. You got to mix in, that A-Wing palette needs to mix in a little bit of water, okay? Less Mountain Dew, more water, and that keeps the the yellow from getting too bad. But I was a little surprised with this price. It just seemed a little high to me. But yeah, this one sold over in Germany, and it was 1375 euros, which translates to $1,600 US plus shipping. So big number for that one. Anyway, I'm not sure if I'm going to have any more videos. I hope to. As a reminder, make sure you like this video, be a subscriber, and comment below, and you are automatically entered to win this. I'll probably let it run until I get back into town. And I'm not sure when I'm leaving, but I've got to go take care of some family that is very sick, and hopefully I'll be back soon. For all of you who are watching, if you're new, please consider subscribing, and thank you again for watching.